UCLA Bruins basketball players making over $300,000 a year directly from their own athletic department. According to a California legislation, a new bill that was just proposed in breaking news from Sports Illustrated tonight, this could be the future of college sports if the state of California has anything to say about it. Welcome to episode 134 of College Football's Peek Around the Corner with your host, Greg Flugar. We cover everything in college sports, in college football, because we love everything in college football. And if you do as well, please subscribe to our ever-growing channel. Smash that like button if you like our content. Share the video with your family and friends. Let's not waste any more time. Make sure you put your comments down in the comment section below the video because I want to read what you think about this breaking news. Ross Dellinger, Sports Illustrated. An hour ago, California college athletics could cash in under proposed revenue sharing bill under the College Athletic Protection Act. Payment amounts would be based on how much revenue the programs earn on an annual basis. I'm going to be going through this article. I will put the link in the description box below the video. I'm going to give you my thoughts. Please give me yours. This is huge breaking news. California, the state that spearheaded sweeping name and image and likeness NIL reform, is now seeking to advance the rights of college athletics another step with revenue sharing. Assemblymember Chris Holden, a Democrat from Pasadena, introduced on Thursday, today, the College Athletic Protection Act legislation that could radically change the economics around college athletics. The College Athletic Protection Act requires the state's colleges and universities to share a percentage of revenue, not profit from the athletic department, but revenue. Share a percentage of revenue with the athletes participating in football, men's basketball, and women's basketball. Payment amounts are based on how much revenue the programs earn on an annual basis, according to a text of the bill, which was shared with Sports Illustrated ahead of Thursday's announcement. The bill, Assembly Bill 252, AB 252, tethers a portion of the athletes' pay to graduation, does not consider athletes employees. Remember that. We're going to circle back to that. This bill doesn't even make the student athletes, the players, employees of the universities. It requires schools to provide medical care and scholarships for athletes after their eligibility, and in severe penalty, calls for the suspension of athletic directors for at least 3 years if they cut roster spots, reduce scholarship amounts, or discontinue sports programs. In other words, this bill makes it so the state of California runs the athletic departments of these universities. Are you kidding me? I am not kidding you. Now, how much of a chance does this bill have in passing? Because many of you on Twitter this evening have said this bill has no chance. We'll get to that in a second. It's no shock, back to the article, it's no shock that college athletes experiences injuries on the field, on the court, or in the game match, Holden said in a statement to Sports Illustrated. What is shocking is the lack of protections helping athletes when they are down or too afraid to say anything because of the repercussions, loss of scholarships, ultimately loss of promising careers. This ends now with AB 252. The legislation dropping amid an athletic rights movement, an athlete rights movement that has generated sweeping changes to archaic NCAA policies, touches on a raging issue percolating throughout college sports. The revenue sharing debate has gained momentum as revenue growth within the college sports industry continues to expand through multi-million-dollar football and basketball television deals. Similar to its NIL legislation, California could put its universities in a precarious position. The College Athlete Protection Act would require them to break NCAA rules, what could be another blow to the organization's crumbling bedrock of amateurism. California became the first in a string of states to pass laws allowing its college athletes to earn compensation from NIL, a move that forced the NCAA to abolish its age-old prohibitions on the issue. The new bill is another affront to current NCAA bylaws. The organization made up of schools themselves limits what universities can provide to athletes to tuition and cost of attendance. Direct pay to athletes, known as pay for play, is prohibited. They got to change that. We'll get to in a second. This is what I want. We're going to go to this. Just read this next paragraph. Then I'm going to give you my thoughts on it. You can read the entire article in a link in the description box below the video. While a similar bill failed last year in the California State Senate, most notably because of gender equity concerns, this tweaked version provides schools with more flexibility in adhering to Title IX and revenue sharing provisions, and its sponsor, Holden, is the chair of the State Assembly's powerful Appropriations Committee. Those factors breed optimism in this version passing through the California's two-chamber Democrat-controlled state legislature. Now, look, I'm going to be absolutely blunt. This California bill is horrific. You cannot manage these schools' athletic departments from this California state legislature. And this is not going to solve anything in college sports. If this passes, it's going to break a lot of things up. Let's first of all, the solution is not separate state bills. California, Texas having their own, the state of Pennsylvania having their own, the state of Florida having their own. And the solution is not the U.S. House of Congress. As President Baylor Livingston went up there and said, basically, we need to have student athletes be special status to protect them from becoming employees and protect us from becoming employers. And she wants to have protection, antitrust exemption. None of those are the solutions here at Peek Around the Corner. This is what I said on January 14th. I've been saying it before, saying it after. I have yet to see good solutions presented, with the lone exception of student athletes receiving representation and reaching CBA with some governing body representing schools and conferences to help solve many of the issues in college sports. Congress should not get involved. State government should not get involved. It's time. It's time. Get yourself together, university presidents, through all FBS, through all of the 360 university presidents that have Division I basketball. But right now we're talking football because this is college football's Peek Around the Corner. Get your act together. Make these student athletes employees with protection, with representation. Let these players' associations get a hold of some sort of representation, union or otherwise, so then they can put standards together with the conferences that represent FBS, the commissioners and its schools, and let's have a collective bargaining agreement. Hash it out. Put it out to so many years and then hash it out again. Just like professional sports, student athletes need protection, but so does the sport. So do the universities. So does the schools and the conferences. You cannot have, in this California state bill, have all this revenue sharing, not profit sharing, revenue sharing. That also includes donation. If you read the bill, go ahead and read the entire article. Read the California bill. I'll link it up there as well. It's atrocious. It's a horrific piece of legislation, but more of it's coming down the pike, and one of these are going to pass. It very well might be this bill, and it's going to crush college sports, and it's going to dilute the opportunity of student athletes that are not in the revenue-making sports. And that can't go on any longer. They also need protection. So get it together. Football, FBS, G5, Power 5. Get a collective bargaining agreement. Get these students protection. Have them negotiate with the school. Have them sign a contract. It takes away tampering issues. It takes care of all the medical issues. And look, if you're an employee, you can get let go. You can get fired, just like any other employee. It can't be, it's been a one-way street for decades in favor of the powerful, in favor of the universities. We get that. That's why I have been a proponent. I have supported NIL. I have supported the student athletes. But it can't go the other way either. Where these student athletes, basketball, football players, get all this revenue with no responsibility other than to graduate. The athletic directors cannot manage their budgets of their own universities. Literally, that's what the bill entitles. The athletic directors can be suspended if they cut a sport. Come on. Revenue sharing. 50% arbitrary numbers being leveled by a state government trying to run these athletic departments of these universities. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. But you know what? Other bills are going to pop up as well from other state legislators. Legislation. We have a mess on our hands. And again, look, let me, Midwinter, who I follow from Winter Sports Law on Twitter, I advise you to follow the same. He says, as noted in this article in the same bill, athletes in other sports would also be entitled to revenue sharing. Based on the bill, UCLA's men basketball players would have been entitled to over $300,000 a year last year. Just in the last year. I'm all for more compensation for the student athletes. It's why you can see a consolidation. It is why Oklahoma and Texas left the SEC country. It's why UCLA and USC tried to attempt and they got there to get to the Big Ten. It's why Washington and Oregon's trying to get to the Big Ten. It's why San Diego State's trying to get to the Power Five. There's consolidation happening. The student athletes are going to get compensated more, but it can't be arbitrarily decided in state legislators. And the United States House of Congress and the Senate should not rule and give this economic space, these universities, a special status for the student athlete. The Supreme Court already ruled that the student athlete should not be treated any different than a student. The student athlete, treat them like a professional. Obligations, responsibilities, but also they get full entitlement, full considerations. They get paid, negotiated with the school or university, sign that contract. Let's go. Let's clean up this sport we love so much. Let's save this college football that we love so much. Because this California bill passes and others, it's not good. This has been an emergency episode 134 of a huge breaking news of the California bill that was just put forward. Unbelievable. Oh, well, it is believable. That's the problem. Until next time, from all of us at Peek Around the Corner, to all of you, please, you all take care of each other. Thank you so very much.